Hey everyone. So mental health came to assess me. Again, yeah, I should have seen that would have happened because I knew something was happening, okay? The point was for me not to leave where I was. The point was for me to stay where I was until either the police or mental health showed up. And I think that's probably why upstairs was so quiet, because they were so quiet for so long they didn't say shit this morning. Like, I was cleaning my flat, doing everything I could to get my flat rearranged. It had to be around the midday mark or maybe even later than that they started kicking off. They were quiet as fuck, and they were wondering why I was quiet. I mean, I was basically preparing for, my short staycation, but yeah, they were quiet all morning, and then I'm thinking, they're unusually quiet. Yeah. They were trying to make sure I didn't go anywhere. I wasn't going to go nowhere. I didn't have no money. But I was wrong about the arrest thing. Turned out that mental health was supposed to come down and see me. And guess what? We got one lie followed with another lie. Here, I got the recording. I'll play it for you now. So let me just play this. Yeah. Hold on a second. I've got to get the Bluetooth sorted out. Sorry about this, everyone.
Edwards.
Okay.
And I'm an approved mental health professional.
Right.
I work at Millview Hospital.
So she's a May Edwards, she said her name was.
I'm employed by Brighton and Hove City Council. And these two people are psychiatrists.
Okay. I'm Dr. Spark.
And I'm Dr. Walker.
How do you do?
Yeah, I'm good.
So Dr. Baker has asked us to come and see you.
All right.
He's met with you yesterday. And talked to you. And you were talking about some concerning issues.
Okay, so what exactly did he relate to you?
You had some concerns with the neighbours. And possibly you were hearing some voices.
Oh, for God's sake.
And that you're...
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, sorry. No, that made me laugh. Okay, so... Yeah. I should have seen that coming.
Experiencing...
Hearing voices? Where did he get this from?
Maybe you can tell us what's going on. I'm just telling you what he said, but we're here to talk to you.
No, this is ridiculous. Okay, all right.
Okay.
What else did he say? What did he say specifically?
He said that you didn't want to have any help from mental health services, and you didn't want to go to hospital, and you didn't want to take any medication.
So why does he think that my decision about that should be overridden now?
Well, it hasn't been.
It has been.
Well, technically it has, because the thing is, I said I don't need any hospital treatment, but still you brought a mental health assessment team over saying that I'm hearing voices. So clearly, my need to not be me to be in hospital, like I'm saying, no, I'm good. Clearly you didn't pay any attention to that, because otherwise why would you send a mental health assessment team over here? That don't make no sense. So you did override it. Don't lie. These people stay lying. Sure. Yeah, but why are we having another assessment again? I'm about to go spend Christmas with my family tomorrow. Why are we having another assessment again?
Well, the last thing that we want to do is come and upset you or distress you. But when there's a request for a mental health act assessment, then we consider it. And today,
I just need to know what exactly was said.
Well, that you have some concerns about your neighbours and you feel persecuted. Something about individuals out to get you or an organisation out to get you.
Feel persecuted? How can persecution be a feeling? Good question. Again, I don't think when I speak, I just
Tell us what's
tell
been
us.
happening
You
anyway,
tell us.
rather than what we've heard from Dr. Baker. You tell us what's happening. We can then come to our own decision, our own conclusion.
I mean, I could play a recording right now. I've got a recording of the conversation of exactly what I've said.
Well, perhaps you could tell us what's happening with your neighbours. So if we...
Ignoring the evidence, because of course they are. Oh, God. No, they're like playing the same script and they're running it like play by play. Hold on.
Out there.
Well, they've been harassing me, so...
Can you tell us how, in what way they've been doing
No, it's just the usual taunts. I mean, it's usually the kid taunting, and yeah, that's kind of annoying, but 9 times out of 10, it doesn't really affect me mentally until I end up having a PMDD symptom, or like maybe the anger builds up, I get a PMDD symptom, BPD, as you know, you have anger issues with BPD, then on top of that you've got the PTSD, from the abuse that I've been through all my life. So all of that combined, yeah, we get what happened like last Sunday, basically.
Okay, can you tell us what happened last Sunday? Can you give us that?
Had a breakdown.
And what happened?
Well, basically I was very, very angry because they still wouldn't stop taunting me.
Okay.
So I basically said, look, just come down here and sort it. Well, I didn't say that. I was pretty blunt. I said, like, just knock it off, just stop taunting me. Police came over. It was actually after the police came over that I had a breakdown because I was very, very angry with the way that it was handled. He came over in an accusatory manner. I've already complained to police about that.
Are you talking about the police or the neighbour?
No, the police made it worse. So if it wasn't for the police, I wouldn't have had that breakdown, I don't think.
Okay, so the police were called by your neighbour, were they? I see.
Yeah.
And they...
Well, that's understandable because the thing is, I'm banging on the door, saying leave me alone, otherwise I'm gonna kick like the. Wait a minute. Did you guys hear that? About that.
Are you talking about the police or the neighbour?
No, the police made it worse. So if it wasn't for the police, I wouldn't have had that breakdown, I don't think.
Okay, so the police were called by your neighbour, were they? I see.
Yeah.
And they...
Well, that's understandable because the thing is, I'm banging on the door, saying leave me alone, otherwise I'm gonna kick like the mother. I told the mother, I said, if your kids don't stop bothering me, I'm gonna have you. So this is the thing, right?
Okay.
If I'm banging on the door, of course they're gonna call the police. They're gonna be concerned. But at the end of the day, you know what you're doing. You know you're taunting me. And on top of that, you put your kids up to it. I can hear everything.
Right.
You put your kids up to it. And then you want to call the police as soon as you feel like the situation is getting a bit too major for you to handle.
So when you say they're taunting you, can you
They don't say anything really bad. They just keep saying we won because they think those specific words upset me. But it's not those specific words, it's just the fact that you won't keep me out of your mouth.
Okay, and is it at all times of the day or just in some times of
Yeah,
the day?
they're doing it now. Did you hear that shit? Little girl bragging about we won. Yeah. They're doing it now. Keep on with that evidence, mate.
They
don't say anything really bad, they just keep saying we won because they think those specific words upset me. But it's not those specific words, it's just the fact that you won't keep me out of your mouth.
Okay, and is it at all times of the day or just in some times of the day?
Mate, did you hear that? Mum, we won. Right. On the recording. And the mental health were right there pretending they didn't hear nothing. Doing it now. They're doing it right now. They said I won. Yeah, don't pretend like you didn't hear that. This heard it.
Yeah,
you see it When I said this heard it, I meant the phone because I was recording on the phone at the time. I'm thinking there's no way that the phone picks it up because you know the phone is noise cancelling. There's no way in hell that the phone's going to pick it up and they don't hear it.
voice, I couldn't make out what the child was saying there.
Well, yeah, well, you couldn't make out what they were saying. Are you fucking high? Do you have cloth in your ears? If this heard it, then the mental health heard it. They're fucking around. Watch. Get me in that fucking hospital. I will light every person up in there. Fucking mess with me. She said I won, basically.
Right.
She does that all the time. So she thinks it's because she's saying I won, when really she's just pissing me off because she keeps taunting me. Her mother put her up to it. And what her mother has been trying to do is stop the child from taunting me before it becomes an embarrassment for any of the adults, right? So first of all, you're putting the child up to trying to taunt me. That's the first thing that you're doing. The second thing that you're doing is you're trying to pull the child back before... Did you hear that? Let me play it again. So first of all, you're putting the child up to trying to taunt me. That's the first thing that you're doing. The second thing that you're doing is you're trying to pull the child back. She's saying it again. Yeah, Mum, we won. Yeah, you sure fucking did. You won the prize for stupidest bastard ever. Sorry, that's just a kid. What is wrong with me? Fuck. Before she says anything else, but by that time it's too late. How do you tell a child to taunt somebody they don't know and then try to... They're still doing it in the background, you know. Dumb as rocks. They're not going to stop doing it.
So how long have they been doing it for now?
Since they moved in. It's almost 2 months now. They moved in on the 4th of November.
Okay.
And it's been almost 2 months of this. Non-stop. And then on top of that, racial harassment as well.
So it's every day now, is it?
Yeah.
Was it every day to begin with, or was it was every day to begin with?
It used to be worse. They used to spy on me. I used to go to the toilet, and that little girl used to report to her mum everything that I was doing in the toilet. Because she made a joke out of it.
So the bathroom in there?
Yeah.
How would they know what you were doing in the toilet?
Are you fucking serious? These people are ridiculous. How would you know? What the fuck is wrong with you? You are here and you are literally hearing some little twerp screaming at the top of their lungs. How do you think they would know what I was doing? They can hear it. You see, they always try to do these little things to, to catch you off guard, or, if you say the wrong thing, then they can try to paint you as crazy. I got something for their ass. Like I said, get me in that fucking hospital. I'm fucking ready, mate. You ain't met me yet. These walls are thin. You could literally hear almost everything here.
Right, I see. Okay, so
it just really sounds like everybody's just trying to.
And why would they moved in a couple of months ago? Why would they do this to you? What do you think is the reason?
Who gives a shit? There's harassment going on. You heard it. There's evidence of it. Who the fuck cares why? Why are you trying to put an angle in to say this person suffers from this because they believe it's happening? Shut the fuck up. If somebody's harassing you, they're harassing you. Man, these people piss me the fuck. I'm about to light their ass up. They better fucking section me. I'm gonna light their ass up. I don't care what the reason is. I want it to stop. Point blank, period.
Do you have any suspicions at all?
What difference does it make?
It might explain a bit why it's happening, because it's an unusual thing to happen.
This is a really good question. Why do you think it's happening? Well, what the fuck are you going to do? You're not police. If even the police don't do anything, what makes you think you're going to fucking do anything? So they're asking you dumb questions in a bid to try and make you look cuckoo. Yeah, you're about to get me like that. Like I said, let them get me in that hospital. I will fucking light all of them up. And then I will literally get every fucking copy of whatever assessment they've made. I'm going to post it online. I'm going to blast them publicly. Let them get me in that hospital. They're going to see something then. If I explain to you what's happened, why it's happening, what would you do about it if I told you?
I don't know yet because you haven't said.
They can't do shit. They're mental health. They're there to assess me and to only assess me. Point blank period. They can't do shit.
Unusual situation, isn't it, that somebody would be children would be continuing harassing a neighbour.
That's very true. But then again, it's an unusual situation. So they wanted me to talk about the targeted individual stuff on their terms so that they could try to reframe it as a delusion. But I'm redirecting the conversation. I don't mean to do it, but I'm redirecting the conversation and instead illuminating exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about targeted individuals. Yeah, so, alright. So I've basically spoken to Dr. Baker about something called targeted Wait a minute, I can't tell whether that's the recording or whether that's them. So, yeah, so, alright. So I've basically spoken to Dr. Baker about something called targeted individuals, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why he's straight up lied and said that I've been hearing voices is because I told him about but then again, it's an unusual situation. So, yeah, so, alright. So I've basically spoken to Dr. Baker about something called targeted individuals, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why he's straight up lied and said that I've been hearing voices is because I told him about like a number of cases where a TI has ended up being murdered or has ended up having their relatives murdered. So one example that I gave him was a targeted individual friend of mine who basically, I'm sorry, I'm finding this very difficult to say. I hope he doesn't mind, but I had to mention this poor guy's cousin again. Like, forgive me. If you're watching this and you know who you are, please forgive me for this. I'm so sorry. A TI friend of mine who was a witness to all the torture that this person was subjected to, because this person is subjected to electronic torture, they're subjected to harassment, they're subjected to hospitalizations, induced hospitalization. It's mostly physical, the torture that he goes through from remote technology. I've got a mark on my face here from where a weapon is hit, and they're normally triangular marks. Yeah. Okay? So
this is a friend of yours.
A friend, it's not me.
Nothing to do with your neighbour at all.
I'm getting to that. Okay. So that person's cousin was murdered because that person was basically a witness to everything that was going on with him. Mm-hmm. So within our community, we're called targeted individuals, and that person that I just mentioned was a targeted individual. Second point that I want to come to, the mark here. There was a TI that I met a few years ago that unfortunately passed away. He was murdered. When the autopsy opened him up, there were the same triangular marks that were on my face. When the autopsy opened him up, they were found all over his heart where the weapons had been. They're directed energy weapons, they're remote. So anyone within a 5-mile radius could be firing the weapons. It doesn't have to be anybody close by. So that's the second point that I want to come to. Where they come in is usually perpetrators, that's what we call them. They can be drug addicts, they can be criminals, they can be, they're usually down and out and from all walks of life, right? They're usually criminals or people who have broken the law. So the way it will work is once somebody is nominated to be targeted, a controller who is like relatively high up, like there are 3 tiers that I know about. There are controllers, handlers and perps. Now either the controller or the handler, most likely the handler, would talk to said perp and said, we need you to harass this person. Now the perp doesn't know what the end goal is usually. All they know, yeah, it's still going in the background. If you annoy this person, You get this person angry, you can get technology out of it, you can get a gift out of it, you can get a coupon out of it, we'll give you more drugs, we'll give you more drink, whatever it is that we need to make your life easier, we will give that to you to harass this person. That's why I think these people have been harassing me. I don't believe it's a personal thing. While I believe they're racist, I don't think they have been doing this for 2 months because of my race. This is not about my race. It's not about my mental health. It's not about anything like that. Okay? They're vile, but it's got nothing to do with that.
And you're being targeted for what reason?
Well, it doesn't have to be a reason. I mean, somebody could be relatively high up in an alchemical fraternity, and you know alchemical fraternities exist. They've got buildings all over the country. Somebody could belong to an alchemical fraternity, put your name in a hat, or it could be a civil servant who has some kind of grievance with you, and they could nominate you, put you on a blacklist to be watched by government, because these lists actually exist and they do watch people with it. So...
And so what's the end result of this? Because it's been going on for 2 months. What do you think is going to...
This hasn't been going on for 2 months. This has been going on for... I mean, I've been aware of what's been happening to me for at least over a decade. So this is way bigger than these neighbours.
Right.
It's just that at the time I was emotional and I was making a decision that was like based on my own feelings, and it was based on nothing else but that.
How long have you lived here for now?
6 months.
6 months. And prior to that, were you living in Brent? Was that?
No.
Where were you living before that?
Hove.
In Hove, okay. So, and did you come here because the same thing was happening in Hove, or?
The same thing happens everywhere. The same thing has been happening regardless of where I move or why. My thing was this, right? I was being targeted in London, and I was being targeted heavily. If you look on my social media, there are videos of obsessed people stalking me. There's evidence of corruption from very high up. And that's been going on for like the longest time. Like, it doesn't matter where I move to, because again, you've got a hierarchy of people that operate for each local area. So a controller might work nationally, a handler might work regionally, like perpetrators underneath them might work from town to town or from city to city. It depends on the situation. So no matter where I move to, it's always going to be the same problem. And yes, I am always going to have mental health being called on me as a way to silence me or to get revenge. It's happened before.
I think did you go into hospital quite a few years ago now?
Yes. Usual shit. Hospital, medication. Have you taken medication? Blah, blah, blah. Fuck off. Yeah.
Was that Park Royal, was it? Or?
Mm-hmm. And they said point blank, the people in the ambulance said point blank, or they said through coded conversation, that the reason why they wanted me in hospital was to stop me having any more influence. But of course that backfired. That's actually true. I was travelling in the ambulance, and I remember it well. There was some fucking cockhead in glasses next to me, and there was a paramedic in front of me. And the guy in glasses was talking to the paramedic saying, you know, we do these things because we don't want certain people having any influence. They were talking about me. So basically they were saying they were getting me into hospital so that I wouldn't have any influence. But if you know anything about the TI community, hospitalization, listen man, once mental health get involved, once the police get involved, the TI community closes ranks, boy. My influence grew after I got out of hospital. It actually grew because there were so many of us in the same situation. Who the fuck is going to relate to a TI who hasn't had any problems, hasn't been hospitalized, hasn't been forced drugs or anything like that? Like, who is going to relate to a TI like that? So you best believe that after I came out of that fucking hospital, that TI's closed ranks out here. The truth of the matter is, I get more support from when I've been institutionalized. I get more support from the TI community than I do when I'm not institutionalized. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And the truth of the matter is, the more support I get, the easier it is for me. So I'm kind of in like a weird sort of limbo where it's like, okay, fine, I don't want a fucking chemicalized lobotomy at the hospital, and I definitely don't want a chemicalized lobotomy in prison, and I don't want to be thrown in prison. But at the same time, if any of these things happen to me and I manage to get proof, or I have some experience of gang stalking in prison or in the mental health prison, because the thing is, there was still gang stalking in hospital anyway, and I was still being electronically tortured in hospital. So if I have any experiences like that in there, then of course the TI community is going to jump all over that. And then that's before we even talk about the hospitalizations in the first place. So many people are abused in places like that and treated like absolute shit. The camaraderie in there, you wouldn't believe the camaraderie. But at the same time, perps, mentally ill perps are very easy to get, unfortunately. They're very easy to recruit because they will do anything to stay out of hospital. Like, even if it means doing this to somebody else who's mentally ill. Even though I'm not mentally ill, technically I'm psychologically injured, but okay, you get what I'm saying.
You just said that before these neighbors, they were able to watch you or monitor you. What was that? I didn't follow that.
No, they were just listening in on what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what I should have said is that there is also surveillance on each TI as well. There's ways to track us. When you go out on the street, there are informal collaborators basically getting a ding on your location. So it's like a relay system that goes from informal collaborator to informal collaborator. That's why I haven't left the house, because you're telling me I got to go through all this shit and then go out and have people stalk me. Nah. That's why I've been jamming in here. And a lot of people don't understand why I'm just jamming in my house, because they don't understand how gang stalking works. It's a lot to deal with when you're dealing with abuse both at home and outside. And I have to be in a particular frame of mind to be able to deal with that. So yeah. I mean, it doesn't look good that you're in your fucking house like for weeks on end though. It's not a good look.
So they were able to hear you what you are doing?
Yeah. No, these walls are very thin. These walls are very thin.
Okay.
Are you able to sleep with all of this?
Actually, yeah.
You are?
I am, yeah.
So I think you have this room and you have a...
I have a bedroom in there, but that's north facing.
Right.
And the pain that I go through from the electronic torture is actually worse in the bedroom than it is here.
Right. And this electronic torture is not necessarily...
no, I don't think it's that.
The neighbours,
I don't think it's that.
But it's you can still feel it happening to you.
Yeah.
The physical effects of it.
Yeah. It's not them causing it.
Okay.
Sometimes when this happens, people can even have dark thoughts that life isn't worth living, or they're going to...
Well, if you're going to be tortured every day, and then on top of that being harassed, then dark thoughts
you could understand
are
that.
a given.
Have you had that? Has that happened to you, that you found...
Of course, yeah. Of course. But understand, I would never ordinarily section myself unless I was particularly feeling suicidal.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the pharmaceuticals in hospital might help me get that done anyway, because they're usually used to chemically lobotomize people like myself in order to stop us from speaking out.
I think when you were in hospital last time, and then when you were in Brent, you were under early intervention service?
I was, yeah.
Were you taking any medication then at all?
I was aripiprazole, but it wasn't for long.
Was it not?
No. I think I took it for about a year and then stopped.
Okay, so that was what, 2019? Or?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. And did that help in any way?
Alright, if you're being tortured to death, how much would medication help?
Well, I'm just wondering...
That's a great question. That is a great question. Because you're basically saying that the torture is not happening. And you're basically saying if I take the medication, then I would realize it's not happening. My guy, this is real life. That's not how it works. You can't just give somebody a pill. Even if it was just a belief. Even if it was just a belief of mine that we're all being surveyed and we're all being tortured and shit. Even if it was just a belief, how would medication actually change that? You've come in and you've seen how tidy my flat is. You've come in and you've seen how presentable I am. Clearly there is nothing wrong with my functioning. Okay? On top of that, I'm very self-aware about my illnesses. So clearly it's not a functional problem. I don't think it's a threat, but I think what he's trying to say is, if you take this pill, then you stop believing. That's what I'm saying. These people are really stupid. And the thing is, because they think that they've got these they've got these medical, like, expert or whatever, qualified. I don't give a fuck if you're qualified. If you've come here and you haven't done your research and you're going off the back of vague information that a senior doctor gave to you because he couldn't be bothered to fucking process the information he was given, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. You're not doing your job correctly and you're not fit to do your job.
You felt more relaxed, whether you felt
no
under the
well,
same
you're being
amount of
tortured
pressure.
to death, and then on top of that you're getting medication you don't need, so of course it didn't help.
And was that an informal admission or was that under a section?
I think it was under a section because
Okay.
when they came over, they said, we'd like you to come with us. And it was under a section. I think I have the paperwork to back it up, but it was definitely a section. I forget what section it is though. I forget what it is. No, it was section 2. It was a section 2. It was a sectioning. What if I said no? And then they said, well, we'd have to take it. Just to give you a heads up, section 2 is usually an assessment period. Section 3 is usually when they send you straight to a ward, as far as I know. So I think it was actually like it was supposed to be a voluntary sectioning, but what they did is they made it mandatory on the spot. So basically they blackmailed me and said that if you don't come with us, you don't agree to come with us, we'll bring someone over.
Right. Okay.
We always ask this question, so like any street drugs of any sort,
No.
cannabis, for example?
No.
No.
Would you go into hospital if it was suggested?
Probably not. Like I said, I wouldn't go into hospital unless I really wanted to end it all.
Okay.
And the thing is, the hospital drugs would help me do that, so. Assisted suicide. They were told that more than once, so if they want to hospitalize me, they know exactly what they're doing. I'm just saying. So again, no. And right now I'm not feeling particularly suicidal, so yes.
What the concerns are, the impact this might have on your housing? I know there's a letter from the housing.
No, man, fuck off, man. All I said was I want to leave because people are harassing me. You're the one, like, gang stalkers are the one who wanted to play Billy Big Bollocks and drag this out. If they'd have done what I asked them to do in the first place, then you wouldn't have to keep bringing your medical health professionals over for them to get spanked like this.
Saying they're concerned you're putting your housing at risk because of the disagreement.
Putting my housing at risk? I just wanted to leave because they were harassing me. Find me somewhere. Be quick about it. Why all this crap? Well, it's not just them. I mean, the landlord hasn't been good either, so I'm trying to leave.
Okay.
It's really very simple. And on top of that, my contract's over. What is there to discuss? harassing me. Very young family. They've only lived here a month. They've got to go to school. They've got certain things that they need to do. I'd rather leave. It's as simple as that. It's common sense.
Do you mean leave your
leave
home?
the flat.
But would you stay in Brighton and Hove? Would you? Is your home Brighton?
I'd like to stay in Brighton and Hove, but I really don't know at this point because Brighton and Hove housing is tough. So I don't know at this point.
Do you get support from any direction at all? From family, from friends?
I talk to my family every day on the phone. Talk to them, they check up on me. I have a partner as well, so he's in London as well, but he comes over to see me when he can.
Right.
And I'm about to go to London now, so I might see him when I go back there.
Right.
Are you going this evening?
No, Christmas Eve.
And did they give you sufficient support?
Sorry, I just... Yeah, absolutely.
You saw
As
me,
much as
you
I
saw
can.
that, right? You saw me dissociating just now. That's how pissed off I am. I'm dissociating. What they'll try, the thing that was on my mind when I was dissociating, and I was like, was that my family, what they'll try to do is they'll try to get my family involved, and they'll try to make sure that I live with my family. Understand something? If they try to make me live with my family, if I get harassed again, if my family don't deal with it, I'ma deal with it. This is a different age. I'm 36 years old now, and I'm a very different woman than I was when I left London. So if anybody harasses me again when I'm living with my family, I'ma sort that shit out. And fuck her mental health.
You don't have any other worries, any financial worries at all, or
Not really.
no?
No.
I know we're here for your mental health, but are you here for any? Do you have any physical health problems at all?
Not at the moment, but I'm sure that'll change.
Because of what's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Normally when we
They put on that silky voice sort of, that pisses me off, man. Like, they come in here like thinking that they know you better than you know you. They have only met you for 5 seconds, and the way that they talk to you, man, it aggravates me. Manipulative. It's very manipulative.
assessments, we do speak to someone in your family. Is there anybody you would be willing for me to speak to?
Why?
Sorry?
Why?
Just because it's a mental health act assessment, just to see if anybody else is concerned about you.
I've never had this before. I've never been in a position where a family member would have to be called. I could call them now.
Hang on. Let me just review exactly what that woman was saying, because I might have heard her wrong.
Is there anybody you would be willing for me to speak to?
Yeah. Why do you need to speak to my family? Unless you're fucking trying to override me, why do you need to speak to my family? Again, very, very manipulative. We're not doing this.
Why?
Sorry?
Why?
Good question.
Because it's a mental health act assessment, just to see if anybody else is concerned about you.
I've never had this before. I've never been in a position where a family member would have to...
Yeah, this is what people in London used to do as well, only they never used to ask me. What they used to do was they used to contact my grandmother, because when I came out of hospital, I stayed at her house for aftercare, right? So what they would normally do is, if I wasn't cooperating, or if it appeared that I wouldn't be taking my meds, or if I was just being belligerent and shit, they would call my grandmother. And I actually have evidence of that, once again, on here, not on Instagram, but on Facebook, YouTube. They keep calling my grandmother when I specifically asked them not to do that. And even when I gave them my dad's number, or gave them, my mum's number, somebody next to kin, they would keep calling my grandmother over and over again. They did it all the way up to when I left London. I don't know if you remember, But I came to Brighton last year, July. It was the 7th of July when I came over here. And I think my grandmother called me. She would have called me. And she informed me that mental health called her. And hang on, I've got the records here. Mental health called her and said and asked where I was, right? Because I didn't leave them a forwarding address. So it's on the they're on the records here. Hang on a sec, I've got to check. Because the thing is that I got to look for 2020. Because basically the manager at Brent Mind basically emailed somebody and said whether or not it was legal for me to just leave. And it is, but it means I wouldn't receive any support from the council. They did everything that they could to try to get me back to London. I wouldn't even go back when I was completely homeless and I didn't know where I was going to go. So yeah, if I can just find that, no, I've got 2016 here. I've got to find 2020. So yeah, basically they did that last year where they went through my grandmother again. So my grandmother ended up calling me and saying, where are you? Because they're going to file a missing persons report. Now, bear in mind, I gave them the surrender tenancy form. I asked for a surrender tenancy form. They gave it to me. I signed it. I didn't leave a forwarding address. I told them I wasn't going to leave a forwarding address. Okay? And yet and still, they basically went and told my grandmother, we don't know where your daughter has gone, or we don't know what happened. They know exactly what happened. They gave me the surrender tenancy to leave. So what this is, with this latest assessment, is they're trying to stop me from leaving again because they want to maintain control of the situation. That's really what this is about. This is not about my mental health. Let me just see. August 2020. All right, I need from August. So yeah, so basically that's what they do. They go through the family to try to manipulate the family, scare the family. That's what they do. Okay, so this is a lot. These files are a lot, boy. But yeah. Yeah, it was a big ass. Is this legal? Is this legal? I'm wondering if this is legal. That's what the document says. So yeah, they've done that before is my point. They always get family members involved when they feel they can't manipulate you. I even said that to the visiting people last Sunday. They always get your family involved when they feel like they can't manipulate you. They manipulate your family. Try to intimidate the family, try to scare the family into getting the errant child to behave themselves. And it's right here, it was right here. (2021). Okay, yeah, so that's why they asked, is there anyone in your family we can talk to? No, bitch. Go look at my medical records. I'm not about to give you that information. Oh, this is a job. So yeah, you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to skip over this. I'm just looking for the documents. What I was talking about earlier. I'm just looking for the documents for that. 2020 I need. Damn it. Yeah, this is a lot. So, yeah, feel free to fast forward. I think I'm getting there, though. All right, here we go. I'm going to look for July now. Yeah, we're here. All right, so interesting. Okay, so this is from Alex Davidson of Brent Mind. Feel free to report this. I don't give a fuck at this point. So it says, Dear Caroline Ogwanga and Richard Lovelock Spencer, I think that's his name. I'm aware that Fabian Deacon's assessment was completed yesterday. Could we please be given the results of this assessment and a decision as to whether or not Fabian Deacon was determined to have mental capacity? Her housing contract is due to end on the 6th of July as she signed a surrender of tenancy form. It is essential to us to know if this is legally valid in relation to her mental capacity. So they tried to stop me from leaving. That was on the 26th of June. And that was to Brent Mental Health at the time. So mental health are always pulling some crap like this whenever you want to leave of your own accord. So it's all right for mental health to say, oh, right, we need you to leave as soon as it gets too hot. But no matter how belligerent I get, no matter how angry I get, I can't get sectioned when I ask for it. I can't move out when I ask for it. Everything has to be about when they deem fit. And as you can see from my social media, from every single thing that you've seen, these people ain't fit for shit. All it is that they're trying to retain control of the situation. And that's why that bitch asked for my family member's number. No, you go look for it. Go fish for it, bitch. Go fish. You ain't getting shit out of me. I could call them now, but I've never been in this position before. Usually, when I have a mental health assessment, I show up and then they'll kind of write me a letter saying, you know, I need to know, I need absolute transparency on why you need a family member in on this.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking if you would give me a number of a family member.
No. No. I should have just said no. You got my records, look there. No.
When we talk
my next of kin should be on my records, so.
Okay, I couldn't see it today. Is that your mum or?
Shouldn't you have a next of kin information before you show up at somebody's house looking for a fucking assessment? These people are fucking with me. They're going to regret it. It should be on my records. Okay. It should be on my records, so.
Is there an up to...
He said it again. We won. Said it again. I don't know if it's a little girl though. I think it's someone else.
Puts her out of date, so there isn't a current phone number on there.
Well, I could talk to Laura and give it to her.
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't giving Laura shit. She still ain't answered my questions yet.
Laura's the lead back.
Yeah.
She?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing us in your home unannounced. It's you've been ever so pleasant with us. Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, yeah, she got me with that one because I wasn't playing it at all. I was a fucking bitch the whole time. So yeah, I love that. That's actually pretty funny. She got me there.
We were coming, and we know you saw a doctor yesterday, so. Thank you for being patient with us. We do appreciate it.
Again, no, I wasn't. I love that. I was told that I was violent. That's why he came over here.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
That's why I tried to contact Laura. And
You didn't know that we were coming, and we know you saw a doctor yesterday, so thank you for being patient with us. We do appreciate it. Okay.
the doctor was told that I was violent. That's why he came over here.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
That's why I tried to contact Laura and tried to find out exactly what was going on. And I suspected that the reason why I wasn't supposed to leave here today was because you were coming over.
How did? What did
Why would
who
anybody
said
stop
not to?
You see, watching them start. You're they're fucking stuttering. I told you. Don't fuck with me.
They said not to.
They didn't. Oh, Jesus, this is too fucking funny. But they said they made reports and they said that I'm not supposed to leave the premises or leave the village until either you or the police have come down. Yeah, I thought it was police, but as you can see, I was wrong. It's nowhere near that exciting. Ugh, boring. Mental health just going through the same shit again. Boo!
Okay. Well, how long will you go away for? Sorry, Bob.
2 days.
You're just going away for 2 days, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to be long.
What would have happened if you just ignored them and just gone out?
Fuck off. Seriously? Ugh. I have actually been out a couple of times, I have to admit. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It depends on the situation. Because the way gang stalking works, if I'd have ignored them and gone out, there would have been other people surveilling me, informal collaborators surveilling me.
Right, okay.
They do that to everyone, it's not just me. So before we talk about my mental health, do you know anything about the Frey effect?
No.
Do you know? Those who didn't catch it, I said the Frey effect. That's to do with microwave radiation on the body, the effects on the body. Non-ionized radiation. Do you know anything about voice to skull? Before a psychiatric evaluation is made, I suggest that mental health or any doctors have a look at those. Voice to skull, the Frey effect, that's from microwave radiation and non-ionized radiation.
Will you go away for? Sorry, Bob.
2 days.
You're just going away for 2 days, okay.
Informal collaborators surveilling me.
Right, okay.
They do that to everyone, it's not just me. So before we talk about my mental health, do you know anything about the Frey effect?
No.
Do you know anything about non-ionized radiation? Do you know anything about voice to skull? Before a psychiatric evaluation is made, I suggest that mental health or any doctors have a look at those. Voice to skull, the Frey effect, that's from microwave radiation and non-ionized radiation, and look at all the injuries corresponding to those.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think it's very worrying and very concerning that mental health will make these kinds of assessments without having the research to back it up. Hey, get him, Fabi. Get him. People are dying, this is not a joke. Ooh, wow. Okay, I really went there. Once again, I just be saying shit off the cuff. God damn. And this is not a joke. What did I say? Situation is made. I suggest that mental health or any doctors have a look at those. Voice to skull, the Frey effect, that's from microwave radiation and non-ionized radiation, and look at all the injuries corresponding to those.
Okay.
Because I think it's very worrying and very concerning that mental health will make these kinds of assessments without having the research to back it up. People are dying, this is not a joke. Well, it's true.
Thanks again. Thank you.
I mean, it's true, but Jesus. How would you feel if you were the assessors hearing that? Fucking hell. Even if they knew what was going on, how would you feel if the person you were assessing turned around and told you people are dying, this is not a joke?
fuck? But yeah, I think the point is to stop me leaving. Because I turned around and I said to the fucking gang stalkers in one video, I said, look, just do what the fuck I tell you before things go left. Do what the fuck I tell you. Stop fucking around, making stupid threats. Stop fucking around with this harassment shit. Just do what the fuck I tell you and everything's going to be all right. So I think what happened is they said, oh, you think you got it like that? Oh, you think you're controlling us? You think you're in control of the situation? Let us show you who's in control. But as you can see, yet another mental health team came over here and got spanked. First of all, you could literally eat off my fucking floor. It's so fucking clean. You want to see my bedroom? I was tidying up. I didn't know what was going to happen because I thought, let me just tidy up, because the thing is, I'm going to leave for a couple of days. And when I come back, I want to come back to a clean flat. And that was the only thing on my mind. I didn't think mental health were going to be over here. But when they came over, my flat was clean. I was clean. I was on my laptop doing my little ting-ting. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so. No, they fucked themselves this time. They got spanked. Let me tell you something. Wait until they section me. They're going to get spanked again. I'm not going to be able to... I'm not going to be able to record that, but they're going to get the spanking of their damn life. I swear down. Shit, hang on. I've got to turn this down because I was playing the game at the time they came in. Man, they're going to get spanked out here. Watch. Yeah. This is fun. This is actually pretty fun. I didn't think it was going to be, but I'm enjoying toying with these people. Because at the end of the day, if they section me, I told them what it was. If they section me, technically it's assisted suicide. I told them that. Told them that several times. They can ignore me, but it's recorded, so they know what the deal is. So, yeah. This is going to be fucking fun. This is going to be fun. Lives are about to be ruined, and not mine. I kept telling these people, you don't mess with us. Leave us alone. Stop fucking with TIs. This is going to be very fun for me. It's going to be a very fun time. I'm going to toy with these people like they've never been toyed with before. You're a game of cat and mouse, I'm the fucking cat. Don't fucking try it with me. And it's not like you can't do anything to me. But it's not like I can't get anything out of it either. Watch. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm preparing for New Year's Eve. I'm probably gonna wind down for a bit. I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.